I set out early, the crisp air biting at my cheeks as I tightened the straps of my backpack, excitement bubbling within me despite the chill. This trail, far removed from any bustling roads or popular routes, promised adventure and solitude. The trees stood tall and dense, their vibrant autumn leaves slowly drifting to the forest floor. I knew I would lose cell service easily a mile or two in, but that was part of the allure, an escape from the constant hum of modern life, a chance to reconnect with nature and myself. As I ventured deeper, the fog began to wrap the landscape in a ghostly shroud, softening edges and muffling sound until it felt as though I was moving through a dream. The trail was narrow here, hugging the steep hillsides, and I could feel the forest's ancient presence pressing in on me, the silence growing oppressive. I looked up, noting how the sky seemed to darken faster than it should, the shadows stretching and deepening with alarming speed. There was something almost predatory about the way the day was slipping away. It was then, as I navigated a particularly tangled section of the path, that I felt it. A prickling at the nape of my neck, the undeniable sense of being watched. I slowed my pace, straining to hear through the thick stillness of the fog. That's when I caught it. The soft crunch of a branch, the faintest echo of footsteps attempting to mimic my own. I paused, heart pounding in my chest, eyes scanning the tangled undergrowth for any sign of movement. There, just beyond, I caught a fleeting glimpse of a dark figure, shadow twisted and indistinct among the trees. I forced myself to keep moving, though my mind raced with thoughts of who or what could be out here with me. The figure remained just out of sight, maintaining a ghostly presence that did nothing to allay my growing fear. Each time I tried to reassure myself that I was imagining things, I would discover a fresh set of footprints or an eerily placed object on the trail, like a frayed piece of rope or a crudely carved symbol in the bark of a tree. It felt as if I were being toyed with, led along an invisible tether with no end in sight. Desperation clawed at me, and I made the reckless decision to veer off the path onto an unmarked trail that seemed barely more than an animal track. I hoped to shake my pursuer, but the further I ventured, the more I felt I was only drawing myself deeper into a trap. I soon realized my mistake. There, up ahead, stood the figure, waiting as if expecting me. Panic surged, and without thinking, I plunged into the underbrush, branches scratching my skin as I stumbled through, only to find myself at the edge of an old, abandoned campsite. A cold sweat trickled down my spine as I took in the sight before me. The remnants of a fire long since burned out, camping gear scattered as though in a hurry, and a backpack that bore an unsettling resemblance to my own. It felt as if I had stepped into an echo of my own journey, the campsite both a warning and a mirror. The realization hit me. I was being herded, managed like a sheep by an unseen shepherd. This stalker wasn't merely observing. They were orchestrating my every move, drawing me further from the safety I craved. Driven by terror, I fled blindly through the underbrush, a primal instinct guiding my steps until I stumbled upon an old ranger cabin, weathered and forgotten by time. With trembling hands, I forced the door open and pulled it shut behind me, barricading myself in against the unknown presence outside. The silence within seemed a fragile peace, broken only by my own ragged breaths. Through the night, I sat, eyes wide, straining to catch any hint of movement outside, waiting for the dawn to deliver me from this nightmare. Finally, as the first pale light of day seeped into the cabin, I felt the tension ease from my muscles, exhaustion overwhelming me. I retraced my steps in the early morning light, heart pounding with each turn, until I emerged back onto the trail. Eventually, I reached the park's main entrance and found help. Shaken but unharmed. Days later, my curiosity led me to discover a chilling piece of local history. A dangerous patient had escaped from a nearby psychiatric facility years ago and was never found. That knowledge haunts me still. The thought that perhaps I had glimpsed them on my solitary walk through the forest.